Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the AskIoT video series from IoT for All, the number one publication and resource for the Internet of Things. I'm your host, Ryan Chacon. If you are watching this on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not done so already. All right, on today's episode, we have Kevin Robinson, the CEO of the Wi-Fi Alliance. They are the worldwide network of companies that brings you Wi-Fi. So this is one of the few, or I guess one of a couple of videos that we've done together with Kevin, and we're going to be focusing our time on the intersection of Wi-Fi and IoT. So how does Wi-Fi impact the IoT space? What does the future of Wi-Fi and IoT look like together? What verticals are really kind of at play here and really should be focused on? Common use cases that Wi-Fi are jumping into. And where we see residential and industrial IoT industry headed, and how does Wi-Fi kind of play a role in that, as well as all the other IoT spheres. So great conversation with Kevin. I think you'll get a lot of value out of it. So please enjoy this episode of the Ask IoT video series. Welcome, Kevin. Thanks for taking time to chat with me today. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's great to be here, Ryan.
Yeah, glad to have you. So let's kick this off by having you give a quick introduction about yourself and the Alliance for our audience.
Absolutely. So I'm Kevin Robinson. I'm the SVP of Marketing for Wi-Fi Alliance, and I'm involved in a lot of the technology development, more from the, let's say, the requirement side, as well as being one of the chief spokespeople for the industry, and really just helping the public and the industry understand all the great things that make Wi-Fi the technology it is today. For those not familiar with the Wi-Fi Alliance, we are the worldwide network of companies that bring you Wi-Fi. So if anybody's seen the kind of the black and white yin and yang pill logo, that is one of our brands, and we've been instrumental in making Wi-Fi again one of the most successful technologies the world's seen.
Fantastic. All right. So today, this video, we are focused on talking about the intersection of Wi-Fi and IoT.
Mhm.
So the first question I wanted to ask you is, how does Wi-Fi impact the IoT industry?
Sure. So I think one of the things that I've often said, and other people I think have made similar points, is that Wi-Fi brings the internet to the Internet of Things, right?
Okay.
So when you, let's say, you look at other technologies or other solutions in IoT, they're not really internet or networking technologies first. And so Wi-Fi really has this strong foundation from decades now of providing that level of internet connectivity. It is really what most people think about with the wireless internet. And so a lot of those capabilities around just the ability to scale or grow at the scale of the internet, to interconnect devices and services no matter where they may be, on premise, off premise, in the cloud. It really has those capabilities. So it's a fundamentally it's a foundational element, I think, of IoT, whether you're looking in the residential space, whether you're looking in the industrial space.
Hmm.
It has an incredibly important role to play.
Absolutely. And I guess since you mentioned industrial and residential, where do you see those two kind of verticals headed, and how does Wi-Fi really play a role in those areas?
Mhm. Well, I'd say let's maybe start on the industrial side first, because it's one that it's getting a lot of attention in certain circles, and it's maybe a little bit more new, if you will. Just the in terms of the deliberate nature of rolling out industrial IoT technologies. And in industrial IoT, of course, the real driver of this is looking at operational efficiencies. Businesses being able to deliver more and doing it more efficiently. And Wi-Fi already today is such an instrumental part of the enterprise that it's a fairly obvious solution in industrial IoT. And it has some of the key capabilities that I think you're going to need in an industrial IoT, like low latency.
Mm.
These are mission critical processes, whether it's on a factory, in factory automation on a factory floor, or whether it's controlling controlling and speaking with devices that are moving through a facility, right?
Right.
All of those are going to require some pretty stringent requirements that the latest generations of Wi-Fi are now bringing capabilities to deliver.
Fantastic. And on, I guess outside of those two industries themselves, what are some of the other verticals that you see heavily adopting Wi-Fi technology, or utilizing Wi-Fi technology in their IoT solutions, and if there are any common kind of use cases you could kind of talk a little bit about, I think that'd be great.
Mhm. Well, certainly there's a lot of different areas where you're looking at more machine to machine type communications, things that are
Right.
embedded. I think a lot of people actually do not fully appreciate the prevalence of Wi-Fi in the automotive space,
Hmm.
with the increase of Wi-Fi, not just being, let's say, in a more of an entertainment solution, back of headrest, those types of things that have been around for quite some time in in-dash systems, but increasingly leveraging Wi-Fi for whether it's sensors in the vehicle, really, backup cameras, all sorts of different solutions or use cases. The Wi-Fi is filling a role within a car. So whereas I think most people might think, okay, you're selling one car and it's one Wi-Fi chip, there might be a dozen Wi-Fi chips
Hmm.
or radios in a single car. So that's one, and that gets a little bit more into that, similar, almost like an industrial, where it's an embedded use case. It's something that is maybe not as visible to people. But it's really almost anything you can think of. Wi-Fi making its way into XR increasingly. It's making its way into outdoor sensors, whether it's for agriculture or facilities management,
Hmm.
particularly with some of the new sub-gigahertz technologies that Wi-Fi is bringing to market. So again, it's Wi-Fi is really finding its way into almost every use case you can imagine. And again, it's going back to that strong foundation that the industry has built over the last 20 plus years.
And can you talk about some of the kind of benefits of that Wi-Fi provides as a connectivity technology for IoT, and then maybe some of the areas, or I guess some of the use cases that maybe wouldn't be as applicable for Wi-Fi? Like if you're trying to do X, Wi-Fi is
Mhm.
probably not the right fit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, going back to Wi-Fi first and foremost, is it is DNA. It is a networking technology. So it's all
Mm,
about interconnecting devices, and it does that very, very well, right? So its ability to scale. It is natively IP based. It has, myriad security modes, right? So everything from what most people are used to in their home, where it's maybe it's a shared password for your devices in the home, but then it can extend all the way to military grade, government grade networks, where that is what the use case requires, right? So incredibly strong security is an important element of that, and the manageability that you have in Wi-Fi. So I think those are some of the key capabilities, and a very critical one that you really can't overlook, which is the cost.
yeah.
Really, there is no other technology today that delivers the same level of what I might term affordable performance. So it's the performance per dollar. Nobody else can really compete on that.
Yeah.
And so it's why you've seen such strong adoption of Wi-Fi.
Mhm.
Now, let's be honest, Wi-Fi is not going to solve every single use case out there. It's one of the reasons why you see Wi-Fi and cellular being such strong complements to one another.
Yep.
Cellular is great in the true mobility space. Right? Wi-Fi today is not going to solve your 80 miles an hour down the expressway. That's not what we're built for. But when you
Mhm.
start looking at in the home, in any other indoor environment, Wi-Fi is really the technology.
Yep.
It's kind of that's your first stop, is can Wi-Fi do it for me? And for
Right.
the most part, that's what it's going to be, right?
Yep. Yep. Totally follow you. So last question I have here before we wrap up is, what does the future of Wi-Fi and IoT look like together in your opinion?
Well, I think the future for Wi-Fi and IoT is incredibly bright. As more and more applications start looking to truly get connected, and particularly as you look at more and more applications that are where the applications are getting interoperable, and that's, I think, an interesting space that we're looking at, or the industry space right now, where you're getting away from more of the silos for applications, and to the extent that multiple vendors are coming together, multiple different types of devices are coming together and
Right.
trying to deliver kind of a cohesive connectivity solution. That really bodes well for Wi-Fi, because again, it plays to its strengths of
Mhm.
the ability to handle at scale, the security, the cost effectiveness. And again, I think it's an incredibly bright future for Wi-Fi.
Fantastic. And for our audience out there who wants to learn more about Wi-Fi in general, the Alliance, everything kind of have going on, reach out, maybe questions. What's the best way to do that?
Well, we're at www.wifi.org with wi-fi.org, and of course, we are also very active on both LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, so on socials. Look for Wi-Fi Alliance, and really, encourage everybody to stay up to date. There's an incredible amount of innovation going on in the industry right now, and don't want you to miss it.
Fantastic. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for taking the time. I think our audience is going to get a ton of value out of this, so we really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, everyone, thanks again for watching that episode of the Ask IoT video series. I hope you found a lot of value in it. If you did, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps others find it and make sure that you get the latest episodes as soon as they become available. Other than that, if you have any questions or topics that you would like us to cover in this series, please leave them in the comments or shoot us an email at hello@iotforall.com. Other than that, thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.